there might not have been a more disappointing team, both collectively and individually, than the Calgary Flames. So they make big changes. The one big question is a new coach enough to reignite the Flames this year?
Yeah, I don't think it has to fall right on Ryan Huska and his new coaching staff. Listen, last year, I picked the Calgary Flames to win the Stanley Cup.
Well, I have the Flames winning the Stanley Cup.
You got the Flames winning the Cup?
I do have the Flames winning the Cup.
Someone knows where to go back home for a free cup of coffee.
They were a top defensive team in the league again. They missed the playoffs just barely, and that was despite everything going on in and around the underperformance of Jacob Markstrom. Jonathan Huberdeau never found his way. The friction that was seen to be on display on a regular basis in Calgary. Ryan Huska has been there. He knows the players as an assistant coach, so it gives him an opportunity. But I don't think it's an opportunity. He doesn't have to take the team and the individuals and change it in a significant way. He's got to allow them to be at their best in the positions that allow them to be at their best. And I think he can do that. But I also believe Jacob Markstrom, who is a Vezina Trophy finalist, has to find that form. Jonathan Huberdeau, who had a record-breaking season in the year before he came to Calgary, has to find that form. Will he be near it? Probably not. But he's got to get up to the level that he showed for all those years in Florida. And with that going on, Craig Conroy has to consider what he does with Elias Lindholm, what he does with Michael Backlund, what he does with Noah Hanifin, because I believe that this team will be better. I think the individuals will be better, but also for Craig Conroy, what does that mean in terms of signing these players longer term? If they are in a playoff spot come near the trade deadline, what does he do if they're not signed?
As disappointing as last year's was, it's worth noting, no team lost more one-goal games than Calgary. They're 30-plus one-goal defeats. Had they been even mediocre in that category, they would have been well inside the playoff picture. So as bad as things seemed, they were right on the edge, and playing the same way this year, the turn of luck and fate would have them in the playoffs, and they're going to be better. I do think there are times when a new leader, a new coach in Ryan Huska, even if he's not making tactical changes, just the change in atmosphere will do wonders for a lot of the players just to reignite their sort of fire to play for Calgary, to be there, to go to the rink every day, to be their very best. I think it grew stale under Darryl Sutter, and now they have a new opportunity to be better, and I think they will be. I'm not worried about Calgary playing well. I think they're going to be in the playoff picture, but the part that you mentioned at the end, that will be something that both Craig Conroy and Ryan Huska will have to navigate well in how they're going to deal with those three big free agents. And they've all been very clear about not rushing into anything. Lindholm, Backlund, Hanifin, they're all open to staying, but also kind of open to leaving Craig, which puts the Flames in a bit of a tricky spot. But I think the new coaching staff and just a new year will go a long way to putting Calgary back comfortably in the playoff picture.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. And it also comes to the younger players. You know, a lot of the younger players, they didn't feel they were given an opportunity. That's going to change. But with that opportunity, they have to prove themselves and show that they're capable. Because that will also be instructive for Craig Conroy and Ryan Huska as the season goes on. It's one thing to give young players an opportunity. And do I believe that Jacob Pelletier is ready? Yes, I do. Is Matthew Coronado ready? Maybe not in the first half of the year, but maybe in the second half. And they are going to be really important for determining what the path is forward for the Calgary Flames in multiple areas. Maybe you got to pay a little bit more to get those older players signed. Maybe you can say, okay, we can afford it because we're going to be able to get a good return on them. But those younger players, given the opportunity, are going to have to show that they can do the job. Call it a proving grounds sort of season for those young players.
And I think the Flames sort of get a pass for how bad things sort of went last year, but not this year. They are too good. The team is very good. New changes in the coaching staff, that the pressure is now on the players to make sure they play up to their potential. If they do and you get anywhere near it, they'll make the playoffs again.